The first few days, I'm super, super excited, but then once my legs start to get heavy and the temperature starts to rise, I'm like, oh, crap.
Retirement doesn't sound fun to me. That's not something I look forward to. I like playing football.
Starting job is still up for debate. I don't know. I think it's not a competition anymore.
You healthy?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I just need some cleats.
You ever caught yourself doing a double take, looking at one, saying, I thought that was the other, or same mannerism?
That's why they wear different numbers, I guess.
A lot of smiles, a lot of news, some holdouts. Oh, it's all going down in training camp. James Jones just said he wants to get his cleats. Do you feel that way?
No, heck no, James.
You want to get back out there?
No, heck no. Nope.
Garrett Fuller deserves a trophy trying to get some levity out of Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur's all business. Mike, we love you. Keep shooting, buddy.
Nope, they got different jersey numbers.
Really?
Yeah, thank you, Coach.
We're talking Giants. We're talking quarterbacks. There's a handful of quarterbacks that will be joining Inside Training Camp Live. It begins at 10 a.m. Eastern right here on NFL Network. We are 41 days away from kickoff, gentlemen. 41 days. The guy who wears number 41 for the New Orleans Saints will also be visiting Inside Training Camp Live for a little interview. Rooski. That is Alvin Kamara. Keep it here for all of that right after us on Good Morning Football Live in New York. It's July 26th. My name is Kay, Kyle Brandt, D'Angelo Hall, and this is the
Lead Block.
Hey, look at you, baby.
And I can't sing. But
yesterday, our very own Kim Jones and Steve Smith Sr., they were together, quite the duo, and they caught up with another one of my favorite duos, wideouts Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry at Browns training camp in Berea. And Kim said that this was the happiest she has seen Odell. Here's what he had to say.
I told him, I was like, I feel like a little kid. Like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, it just feels so right. It feels good. And, you know, when you're not happy and you're just not in a good place, you can't ever get better. You can't make the people around you better. Right. So I definitely am in the best place I've ever been in, mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever.
When you're playing with somebody that you truly respect and consider a brother, you don't want to let that person down, you know, on the field, off the field, you know, whatever, you know. And I think that for me and him, even our relationship, even when he was with the other team and I was here or wherever I was, we still communicated. We still talked at a high level. All those little things, you know, him checking me checking him, and holding each other accountable. I think that that's what, in the long run, it's going to be the benefit. And that's what's special about this. And it's going to make this season better for us.
Well said by Jarvis Landry there, and Kim Jones joining us now from Berea, Ohio. And I loved hearing them even before training camp started talk about how the two of them sort of manifested this in their journey through the NFL to eventually play together and have this chemistry that they built through college translate to the NFL. So we know off the field that chemistry is at a 10. But what did Landry and Beckham have to say about proving themselves on the field?
Well, I mean, I specifically asked Odell, for obvious reasons, if he comes here, wears this uniform, this number 13, having something to prove. And he essentially said, yes, he does feel like he has something to prove. He also said, and this is what you expect of the great player, that he always feels like he has something to prove, Kay. I think that this dynamic with Jarvis and Odell is going to be something to watch all season long. They are as close as brothers. As you noted, Kay, they hoped someday to play together again. After a successful college career at LSU, they are now playing together with the Cleveland Browns. Their wide receivers coach from LSU is the Cleveland Browns receivers coach in Adam Henry. In Freddie Kitchens, they have a head coach who said again yesterday he wants his players to be himself. And Kay, I thought this was significant. Freddie added that be yourself doesn't mean there's no discipline, because the rule that he has is do the right thing. He just believes that when players are able to be themselves, to be who they really are, you get the best out of them. I think that that's almost certainly true with Odell Beckham Jr. and with Jarvis Landry.
And then what was that crowd like, Kim, when we saw Baker Mayfield hit Odell? It was a viral clip for the past 24 hours.
Yeah.
What are the fans feeling right now?
Well, the Browns, I mean, they've sold out. They don't sell the tickets, but they distribute the tickets. The tickets are all distributed for these practices. That's not a surprise. This weekend, of course, you would expect even bigger crowds than we saw yesterday on, a Thursday. So the Browns are excited about that. You can understand that. The fans were excited to see Odell. I will tell you, watching Beckham versus Denzel Ward at practice, that's worth the price of admission, even though I know it's free. But that was a lot lot of fun yesterday. And Ward won some of those battles, and Odell won some of those battles. So, and that's the goal, as Kitchen said, which is not surprising. But Odell did have a couple catches that you kind of shake your head and wonder who else makes those catches. The crowd loved it. The Browns loved it. And like you said, at least one of them went viral, Kay.
Yes, iron sharpening iron out there with the hottest ticket in town, Kim Jones in Berea, Ohio. More on Inside Training Camp Live, which kicks off right after us here on Good Morning Football. Thanks so much, Kim. Back here at the breakfast table in New York. Sold out.
Yeah.
Sold. I mean, obviously.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so much hype, so many expectations this season. D'Angelo, who is the person, the one guy most responsible for making sure these Browns can focus, block out the noise, and get it going? There's GM,
do I have
coaches,
to pick one guy?
One dude.
Who's your man?
Oh, my goodness.
Or woman?
I mean, I think it always starts at the top. Freddie Kitchens is a guy who we like on this show. I mean, he says polarizing things. He seems genuine in his message.
Sure.
And those guys seem to love him, love who he is as a person, as a coach. And you ultimately take on the identity of your coach. Every team does that. I wanted to pick different people because it's going to take a collective group effort for this team to be successful. But the message starts at the top and it trickles down. It goes from the head coach to the captains. Those captains then are the enforcers in the locker room to kind of make sure that everybody is buying into the system. And it's so great to hear Kim talk about Odell and Jarvis because those two guys are going to be the catalyst. Because Baker's the quarterback, and you always even though Baker's a little different than most quarterbacks always kind of say the right things and they don't necessarily get in your face. I know Baker will do that, but it's going to be nice, too, to have Jarvis and OBJ kind of help patrolling that locker room together, saying the same unified message because you can see this is a different Odell. And I said it from day one. When he got with Jarvis, knowing their relationship dynamic, that's a guy he respects and a guy he's going to listen to when he wants to go crazy. Because I've seen Red before, and it's been that one guy to rein me back in. And so London Fletcher was a guy like that for me. In Atlanta, Keon Carpenter, Mike Vick.
Need it.
Kevin Mathis was another guy. And so you got to have some of those kind of guys that you respect and you don't want to let down. And those two guys have it in each other.
There's just so much hype. It makes me laugh. I have to credit Busted Coverage on Twitter. When that play that came out that we were talking about, the Baker to Odell, they started searching hotel rooms in Cleveland for the AFC Championship game weekend. And it's like $100 a night. Like, get them now. Title game. But it's so interesting to me because in the interview that the two guys did with Kim and with Steve, Jarvis didn't really want to answer. He kept referring to Odell. He was even tapping him on the elbow. So we've now arrived at a place when Odell is the spokesman for the team, which is fantastic. And the head coach, we're doing segments about how quotable he is. But I think here's the equalizer, though. Yeah. Talking about blocking out the noise, the quarterback wants to bring the noise, like Anthrax. Like Baker lives on the noise.
The band Anthrax.
Absolutely, yes, exactly. Not the other thing. The band. Scott Ian, hello. But this is the guy, Baker, who's grabbing his crotch in college, like, let's go. Literally, there's some guys who can't play with the heat. I feel like Baker can't play without it. Trying to stop the noise is like, what is it, like putting your fingers in the dam? Like, it's just going to be another one. There is no stopping it. And when you hear Freddie say guys are going to be themselves, there's just going to be noise, guys. There is no stopping it. Look at that, man. You think he's stopping the noise? It's just coming all season long.
Is there any room in your head?
Yeah, sure there is.
For this not working and blowing up?
Oh, absolutely.
It's interesting.
I feel like
it's combustible.
That's not an option anymore. Is it combustible?
There's a lot of personalities, and guys, Freddie put it this way. He said, we have a lot of really good players. I don't know how good of a team we are. I just think Baker, I believe in him. But let's go to somebody else. Eli has already been to the mountaintop a couple times. We know the GQ interview came out with Odell, where he went off about the trade, saying that I was the one keeping the brand alive in New York. I just got us on prime time, and he felt disrespected from getting traded from the Giants. Well, Siciliano was with Eli yesterday and asked him if he was kind of triggered or annoyed by Odell's response.
I don't think they bothered me. You just kind of shake your head and laugh.
You're laughing? I mean, I think those 2 rings had a little bit to do with why they're on TV.
We won a few games before he was here.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
You're laughing, Adams. We kind of all are. What do you think of Eli? Close as Eli can possibly get to a clap back in his world. What do you think?
That was a great clap back.
That's pretty good.
He doesn't speak very often. That laugh was so genuine and He's right. And the best clapbacks you can give, the best shade that you can deliver to anyone on any level is to not do it very often. And when you do it, be right and have something to back you up. And scoreboard, I have 2 rings on my hand.
Talk about it.
I know.
What do you think?
And as a guy that does not have a ring, I hated it, but I loved it because it's Eli and it is a clapback. But I mean, Odell had some. I mean, he was right to a point. I mean, I've played against Eli in the past couple years, and he's not quite the guy who got those 2 rings. And so this team is going through a transition, I feel like, and they do need some help. And Odell was kind of right. As a guy who went against him, Odell, I was so excited when he got out of the division. I'm like, what? You can't? Are you kidding me?
He's gone.
Like, people don't trade that kind of talent out of their building. And so, you know, Eli's right, but Odell's right too, and Daniel Jones is right behind Eli.
That's the thing. Odell might be right. What's Eli going to do about it? Yeah. It's so fun to see Eli break character because he does it so seldomly. Yeah. But I think it's going to happen more. There's a lot going on. The team has a younger man around. There's nothing more motivating than that. Everyone says it's over. I think Eli is going to get his groove back a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs. I'm saying, okay, he is human like the rest of us, and if everybody's laughing at him, he will fire back.
It's nice to see him care because he could definitely have diffused that question simply and say, I wish him all the best. He was a great teammate. Miss him. Love you. We're focused on 2019 instead. Yeah, he's showing that he is motivated and he's feeling some kind of way about what went down and what Odell has said to him, and the fact that little Daniel Jones is running out there doing deals and getting a lot of acclaim. All right, hashtag GMFB, because we want you to send your tweets for the show, for Inside Training Camp Live. And let's head west, shall we? Costa Mesa?
Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's pick up Melvin.
I wish we could just go to Costa Mesa.
Do I get an umbrella drink too?
Yes.
Say umbrella.
Let's go to Javier's.